Hey good people, in this video I'm changing or flushing brake fluid. I use plastic tube that fits brake bleeder, ball and empty clear plastic bottle. I drill the hole in a bottle cap to fit plastic tube. I either use turkey buster to get some old fluid from master cylinder reservoir into my bottle, or adding new fluid to bottle to ensure that tube is submerged so no air goes into caliper and brake line. I start from brakes which have the longest brake line and finish with the shortest line. In most cases it is the rear passenger side, then rear driver, then front passenger side, and finishing with front driver side. Once everything is set up, I open brake bleeder and start cycling through the following steps until I see new fluid bleeding from bleeder valve. A. Pumping brakes for 3-5 times to about 2/3 of its range. B. Checking master cylinder reservoir to ensure there is still fluid left and adding new fluid when it is too low. And C. Making sure all fluid is properly bleeding into the bottle. One thing to remember is to keep reservoir cap always on, except when checking and adding fluid. When new fluids start bleeding and there are no air bubbles in plastic tube, I close the bleeder valve and clean up the caliper and area very well, since brake fluid is very corrosive. Next brake will take less time and fluid, and I cycle through the same steps and making sure there is enough fluid in master cylinder reservoir and no air goes into caliper and brake line. Things to remember: do not allow air into brake system to prevent failures. Brake fluid is very corrosive. Clean up all surfaces very well. Do not press brakes all the way to the floor and keep master cylinder reservoir cap closed while pumping brakes to prevent damage of master cylinder. Test your vehicle on safe and slow street with enough distance to stop, and keep safety in mind all the time. Anyway, if you have any questions, please put below in comment section. I promise to reply to all questions. Don't forget to click like if you do and consider subscribing. And as always, have a nice and safe day. Cheers!